So, when does the frustration finally boil over? At what point do we as fans, and more importantly, when does the Lakers front office say enough is enough? How many more times do we need to watch opposing guards and wings treat our perimeter defense like a turnstile on their way to a season-high scoring night before a real, meaningful change is made? Because right now, the Los Angeles Lakers are a beautiful, high-powered sports car with a flat tire, and pretending it's not, there's only going to get us stranded on the side of the road come playoff time. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're not talking about hypotheticals or fantasy trades. We are talking about a strategic imperative. The Lakers have assembled a roster with two of the greatest offensive minds in the game, LeBron James and Luka Doncic. They have a dominant big man in DeAndre Ayton. They have pieces, but they are carrying a fatal roster imbalance, a defensive vulnerability so obvious that every single opposing coach in the Western Conference is already game planning how to exploit it. The solution might require an uncomfortable alliance, a deal that, on the surface, seems impossible. But championship windows are short, and sentimentality doesn't win you rings. Let's start by diagnosing the illness before we discuss the medicine. The Lakers are built to score. With a combined salary of nearly $100 million, LeBron and Luka are the engine of what should be a top 3 offense. But the NBA axiom is as old as the game itself. Defense wins championships. And on the perimeter, this team is poised to be painfully porous. The modern game is a relentless assault from the wing position. Los Angeles will have to navigate a conference filled with elite perimeter talent. And they currently lack a dedicated stopper, a point-of-attack defender who can neutralize those primary threats. It's a glaring, flashing red light on the team's dashboard. The front office is clearly aware of the problem. We've heard the faint rumors linking them to players like Andrew Wiggins, but that seems to be a dead end. The issue is, with limited trade assets, their options are slim. They can't just go out and acquire a premier, drama-free 3 and D wing. The market for those players is incredibly expensive, so they have to get creative. They have to look for value in unconventional places. They have to target situations where another team's long-term plan might create a short-term opportunity. And that's exactly why the Phoenix Suns are suddenly on the radar. The Suns are in a precarious position. After mortgaging their future for Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal to pair with Devin Booker, their timeline is now. They have to win, and win big, within the next year or two. But what if they don't? What if that collection of top-tier talent proves to be a clunky fit? As Lakers insider Jovan Buah noted on his podcast, there's a real possibility the Suns could underperform and find themselves needing to pivot. In that scenario, a player who doesn't perfectly fit their long-term financial picture could become expendable. And the player who fits that description, and also happens to perfectly fill the Lakers' biggest need, is Dillon Brooks. From a purely tactical standpoint, this is a home run. Forget the name on the back of the jersey for a moment, and just look at the player profile. Brooks is an all-defensive wing, one of the few players in the league with the strength, speed, and sheer tenacity to effectively guard positions 1 through 4. He's coming off his most efficient shooting season, proving he can be a reliable threat from the three-point line. He is the blueprint of the exact player you need to surround a ball-dominant creator like Luka Doncic. He provides lockdown defense on one end and low usage, floor-spacing offense on the other. He doesn't need the ball in his hands to make a massive impact. For a team trying to maximize Luka's offensive genius, Brooks is, on paper, a flawless fit. Of course, reality is more complicated than what's on paper. The history between Brooks and LeBron James is not just a subplot. It's a well-documented, bitter rivalry. So, can two professionals, two fierce competitors, shelve their personal animosity for pursuit of a common goal? This is where a championship organization is truly tested. It forces the front office to make a decision based on pragmatism over personal comfort. And it forces LeBron, as the team's veteran leader, to decide if he's willing to embrace an on-court solution, even if it comes in the form of a past adversary. The article reporting this trade possibility makes a critical observation. To fully unlock the Luka Doncic era, the team must prioritize basketball fit above all else, limiting the influence of past grievances on roster construction. So, How could this realistically get done? The proposed trade framework is both clever and logical. The Lakers would send Rui Hachimura and rookie Dalton Connect to Phoenix for Brooks. For the Lakers, this is a strategic masterpiece. They swap out Hachimura, a talented but defensively limited forward, on an expiring deal for a player who solves their single biggest problem for multiple seasons. By including Connect, a prospect who likely wouldn't see major minutes in their guard-heavy rotation, they sweeten the deal enough to potentially keep their future first-round picks, which are their most valuable trade assets. For the Suns, the move provides a clean exit strategy if their season disappoints. They get Hachimura's expiring contract, which clears future salary and gives them immense financial flexibility. They also acquire Connect, a young, cost-control player who they can develop as a long-term piece around their stars. It's a trade that addresses potential needs for both teams, a win-now upgrade for Los Angeles, and a flexible future for Phoenix. In the playoffs, Brooks becomes the Lakers' designated weapon to deploy against the West's elite wings, a job no one else on the roster is currently equipped to handle. Ultimately, this all comes down to one question. Are the Lakers in the business of building a comfortable locker room, or are they in the business of winning championships? Sometimes, the move that gets you closer to a title is the one that introduces a bit of friction, the one that forces everyone to elevate their level of professionalism. Acquiring Dillon Brooks would be a cold, calculated, and potentially brilliant basketball decision. It would signal that the front office is ruthlessly focused on fixing this team's flaws and maximizing this precious championship window with LeBron and Luka. It would be a gamble on professionalism over personality, and it might just be the very gamble they need to take. But I want to hear from you. Looking at the assets and needs, is this the smartest possible move Rob Pelinka could make, or is the baggage simply too much? Is there another realistic target out there who could fill this defensive void without the dramatic history? Let me know your trade ideas and your thoughts on this bold proposal in the comments below. And if you appreciate the strategic breakdown, do me a solid and hit that like button. We'll be back soon with more in-depth Lakers analysis.